Hey, today I am building an army for Paul Walker of Warlord HQ. He wrote to me and said, I'm going to this tournament. Do you want to build me an army? And I asked my viewers to give me an indication what army I should build, and they chose French Foreign Legion. Now, when I build armies, I'm not going to do theme as much as I'm going to do absolute competitive shenanigans, right? So that is what I'm going for. I'm going to try and build an army that's as competitive as I can possibly make it, building a French Foreign Legion. So within that framework, right? Now, the event I'm building it for has an escalation format. So they're playing 600, 1,000, and 1250 points, and you have the elements that are in your 600 points have to be in the others, right? So that's a problem in itself. It makes it very, very hard to build an army. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this well, but I am going to try. The first mission that they're playing, 600 points, will be land grab. So that is a mobility game. Then they're going to play 1250 kill points. So I also need staying power. And then they're going to play breakthrough, another mobility game. So mobility is good. Which means that in at least the 600 and 1,000 points, I want something that can really move, right? At the same time, I want something that can sort of deal with enemy armor, because for a French Foreign Legion, I don't think we're going to have much armor ourselves. So that is the parameters that I'm dealing with. Let me take you to Easy Army. We're going to try and build ourselves a French army. We're going to start with the rifle platoon, because that's a good place to start. And I'm going to start by building the 600 points. Then I'm going to save that, and then we'll expand, and then save, and then expand again. That's the way I'm doing it. Now, the first mission is land grab. For land grab, you don't want to lose units. It's the old style sectors, so kill points matter. Which means that I'm taking a veteran officer, I'm taking extra man for him. And this also, by the way, is because you get submachine guns for free. So I'm taking 3 veterans with submachine guns. That should mean that it has staying power, it can take a few punches, and it should be okay-ish at dishing out as well. Now, if we're going to play French Foreign Legion, the French roster is very limited, right? But they do have French Foreign Legion, so we need some Legionnaires, right? And the Legionnaires are veterans, so that is pretty good for our purposes, right? I want these Legionnaire units to be sort of punchy, to be able to move, because we're playing land grabs, but at the same time to be able to defend fairly well. So I want them to have a good amount of shots coming out of each unit, which means I need 6 men per unit. Right now there's 5. I'll add additional man armed with a pistol and make him the loader for 1 light machine gun. There we go. And you know what? I'm going to grab 2 of these. That's a good start. Right. Now we also need some light units that can move up and take points. So an anti-tank rifle, definitely need one of those. We're making it regular because that'll save points. Yeah. Do we need a company commander? No, we really shouldn't. I don't think we should. Yeah. That is basically it. The final thing I want to add is an artillery observer. And I am making him veteran, giving him extra men. Again, SMGs. I know it's extra points, right? It's 15 extra points. At this point, I don't really care that much because I want them to be able to survive. Now these can actually infiltrate outside of the deployment zone, which means that they can immediately become points, right? And you can put them in nice places. And because it's a French artillery observer, he's got the double tap, which means that you will mess up the enemy for quite a few turns. 404 points. Now, on top of this, I think we should try and grab ourselves some cavalry. Yeah. Cavalry section. Regular. Just a 5-man. Now these are going to try and run around the flanks, whereas the AT rifle and the veterans are going to try and hold the center with the officers, right? The artillery will bombard, the cavalry will try to run around the flanks. 482 points. Ugh, that is an annoying points value here. That does not do us any favors, does it? We're going to have to cut the cavalry. Simply too expensive at 78 points, isn't it? Clear that. Save and back. We have 96 points. Could be enough for a mortar or two. Let's do that. I'm not going with artillery because artillery is not maneuverable. So I'm going to grab a heavy weapons platoon. I am going to take another commander. And he will be inexperienced. He's going to stay behind and he's not going to try and push up. He's going to try and survive as much as possible. And then we're going to grab some mortars. Let's start with one inexperienced light mortar. And then we have 54 points. That should be enough for one regular medium mortar. Is that right? Yes. We don't have the points for the upgrade of a spotter, unfortunately. But we do have enough to add one dude to this inexperienced man, or make him regular. I think we'll make him regular. There we go. Oh, sorry, that's only 500 points. What am I even doing here? So that was only 500. My bad. We're definitely making him veteran then. Yep. And then we're grabbing one more anti-tank rifle. We need double anti-tank rifles. Why? Because we need them to be able to pin enemy tanks. We might get a couple of people at 600 points trying to bring a tank, right? This also means that the mortar here, definitely upgrading that to a medium mortar, seeing if we can afford a spotter for that. Maybe we don't need 2 spotters because we've got an artillery observer, right? Yeah, 594 points. Let's view that. Nine order dice, 594. We've got the platoon, veteran platoon commanders. We've got double infantry of French Foreign Legion. We've got the artillery observer, SMGs on those guys. Remember that. AT rifle. We've got another platoon commander, veteran. We've got double mortars. One of them's got a spotter. The other can use the artillery observer. And then a boys anti-tank rifle. I don't think I can find the the points to spend on the remaining 6 points. We'll save that. That, I think, will be our first save of the of building this. Right, let me just save that. Building, so I just saved that list. We're now building this up to 1,000 points. At 1,000 points, we're going to play Breakthrough. So, and this is where I think we should get ourselves some cavalry. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get a recce platoon here. I'm going to get a commander. He'll be regular. Let's just call him regular. I'm going to give him a horse. Because when you are mounted on horses, you don't need to buy transports. And we don't want to buy transports. And then we get cavalry. Regular dudes. 5 men mounted on horses. We can always get more if we want to. And because we've got cavalry everywhere, we can buy our artillery observer with horses. Now I am going to make him veteran. I am going to give him a couple of extra dudes, just trying to make him survivable. Now we have a unit that can infiltrate and are on horseback. Isn't that great? Brilliant. Love it. Love it to bits. That is 832 points. Which means we'll go back to our heavy weapons platoon here, and we can boost that out a little. We'll get a couple, at least one, I think, extra AT rifle, because at 1,000 points, sorry, we are way more likely to have the enemy bring tanks. But I also think we should bring more veterans. Again, giving them a pistol arm man for the loader, and then the LMG. That is 955. Then we just need to spend 45 points. 45 points. You know what? One of those could be another boy's AT rifle, couldn't it? That's 25. Or we could give this guy an extra man, make him a little bit more survivable. 13 points. Yeah, let's do that. 13 points, giving that an extra dude. And then we'll buy another boy's AT rifle. You can basically see the plot here, right? The idea is to have a lot of things that can pin the enemy tanks, or be points that move out in all kinds of different directions. So this is our 993 points, 1,000 points. List 15 order dies. We've got the officer again, extra men, veteran, making him survivable. We've got 3 French Foreign Legion units. We've got the artillery observer here, extra men, veteran. We've got the boys AT rifle, so that's 1. We got another platoon commander, veteran, extra men, double mortars, again using the artillery observers. Later on I might add a 3rd, which can use the other artillery observer. And then 3 more boys anti-tank rifles. That's 4 anti-tank rifles. That should be enough to pin down most enemy tanks. And then we have a cavalry unit here. These are going to be a joy to paint with the uniforms and stuff, and the horses. Nice, I like that. Yeah, that works for me. That really works for me. Right. Let me just save again. So that was our 600 points and our 1,000 points. Now we're building this up to 1250. And you can basically see the ideas that I'm going with here. We are going to try and build this into an all infantry, no armor list. At 1250, we're playing kill points though, so we need survivability and we need punching power at that point. So we've got a bunch of anti-tank rifles. That is brilliant. I think we need mortars. Unfortunately, the French at this point can't get heavy mortars. If they could, I would buy them. But we are going to buy an extra medium mortar using the other artillery observer that we already have for that extra shot. Now, can we take any more? Yeah, we can take more infantry. So again, we're building French Foreign Legion infantry. Here we go. Adding LMG and pistol armed man, 6 men again. Very, very, very survivable. The cavalry will not be very useful for this points value. So what I'm thinking here is maybe actually adding French Foreign Legion and then adding some vehicles for them. The problem is we could buy one group Frank and then just give them SMGs and call them French Foreign Legion. You know, we'll do that. It's not really something you're supposed to do. I know this, right? Sorry, dudes. This completely breaks immersion, I know. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy a unit of those. We're going to give them some sort of transport. The Berylay. The Berylay is awesome. Definitely was not used by the French Foreign Legion. I don't care. We're getting that regular, so we can use the LMG. Perfect. Up to 7 men, transport capacity. Save and back. Which means that we can actually expand this. Let's get a couple of extra dudes. Right now we have 5. Let's get 2 extra. That's a nice little SMG bomb to have going. Here we go. And then we of course need to buy the recce rules for the Berylay. Whoa, that turned really expensive all of a sudden. I can't do that. Ooh. You know what? Let's go and see if we can save 50 points somewhere. The Berylay is too expensive. But we want that extra mortar, don't we? We do. I really want that SMG bomb. Let's remove the 2 extra dudes here. That brings us down to 1276. Still too expensive, isn't it? Okay. It was a nice idea. We don't have the points. We do not have the points. We have 115 something. You know what could be really nice? Company commander. veteran with a couple extra dudes. That means that you're never missing those order tests, right? But it is very expensive, and he's not actually doing much for us. It does become difficult using these final points, doesn't it? Should we just get more mortars? Yeah, I think we should. Regular. At this point, we're going to have to buy an extra spotter, though. And one more. The spotters are really good, aren't they? These mortars all need to sit behind line of sight, blocking cover, just using spotters and shooting all the time, right? That is it. That is our 1250 list. Let's go view that. And that, Paul, is what you're having to build. 19 order dice, 1250. We've got platoon commanders, 3 men. We've got the French Foreign Legion. We've got 4 of those not right now. So 6 men each, right? We've got the artillery observer here. We've got the boys anti-tank rifles. We've got another platoon commander. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medium mortars. 3 of them with spotters. We've got more boys anti-tank rifle teams. We've got another officer with an extra man here, regular, on horseback. We've got a cavalry section. We've got an artillery observer on horseback as well. No recce vehicles. That is it, people. That is what I am sending to you, Paul. Good luck, and let us all see how you built this insane project that it is. Right. Good luck, and I will see you next time. Cheers.